It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to Football Friday here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. You know how we do it on Fridays, especially during the football season. We still have two main events left in the world of college sports. We have the NFL Round 2 playoffs that'll be scheduled for this weekend. SWAC basketball, big game this weekend, Prairie View and Texas Southern. A huge congratulations to the Mountain West Conference. And have we got a doozy for us to dive into on today? So with all that being said, let us jump right into today's episode. Before we must send our condolences and share with the rest of you who may not be aware the passing of a great man on yesterday. Roscoe Nance, who's the president of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Alumni Association. Did a lot of marvelous works. I believe they were established in 1999. If you listen to this network on any regular basis, you've heard the spots in promotion of support for the SWAC Alumni Association. Roscoe Nance transitions on, and our thoughts and prayers are with the entire family. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with the rest of our show.
Are you one of the many Americans that deal with the effects of diabetes? Diva Skin Conditioner could be the remedy that you need. Diva Skin Conditioner is a formulation that was designed with you in mind. Diva Skin Conditioner comes with a money-back guarantee. That's how confident they are in their product. For more information, visit divafeet.com. That's D-I-V-A-H, feet.com. Or you can speak with a representative by dialing 903-270-0026.
All right, welcome back. And as I mentioned, man, it is a ton of things to go over today. And I can guarantee you something is not going to make the cut, not in full detail. But the theme is Football Friday, so let us start off with that, why don't we? January 11th, which will be Saturday, will feature the FCS championship game between James Madison and North Dakota in Frisco, Texas. People are flying in from all over the country, anticipating the thundering herd of the Bison to take on James Madison. This game is about as evenly matched as the day is long. And I've been having to decipher who will I pick, who will I not pick, who's going to be the champion, who's not going to be the champion. And I'll give you that pick in just a moment. Monday night, we have LSU and Clemson. Another huge matchup, number 1 against number 3. LSU has been flat out impressive. Clemson, the returning champion. You can't go wrong with someone is going to lose. I'll give you that pick in just a moment. Back to the FCS championship. I believe that James Madison is going to pull it out. I've been horrible at projecting my scores and my picks in all these past couple of weeks, especially on the NFL side. But I believe James Madison will defeat North Dakota. And I'm going to say a score somewhere around the neighborhood of 17 for North Dakota, 21 for James Madison. So James Madison is my projected winner against North Dakota State, 21-17. That's my final answer. Now on to the FBS championship. LSU, Clemson. Wow. Decisions, decisions, decisions. LSU made a believer out of me, or should I say Joe Burrow made a believer out of me on their performance against Oklahoma. I didn't think that there could be a team that dominant on that level in the Big Five. But nonetheless, we had what we had. Clemson, a very noteworthy opponent, defending champion, as we mentioned, and they're playing some explosive ball. With that being said, and because I'm somewhat old school, I believe that as long as the champion is still standing, you got to knock him out to take over the title. And I believe Clemson will be the FBS Bowl champion. This score scares the dickens out of me, but I'm going to take a leap of faith and say this game will be won by Clemson 35-31. That is my final answer. Clemson 35, LSU 31. Now to the National Football League. I was flat out embarrassed by my old college roommate, Kenny Furlow. His projections were spot on, and we were supposed to get together, but in the passing of his father, they'll be laying him to rest this weekend. And our thoughts and prayers are definitely with him as well. I am going to make my projections for the NFL playoffs. And some of you may be a little surprised. But hey, that's what I do, right? Texans and Kansas City, I really believe Kansas City will win that game. Watson is outstanding. Definitely the heartbeat of the Texans on the offensive side of the ball. J.J. Watt proved that he can still be effective after taking 8 weeks off and not at 100%. Has the engine on high gear right now. But I believe Kansas City, from top to bottom, offensively, defensively, and even special team wise, has the total package to be victorious over the Texans. The Ravens and the Titans. There's no doubt that Jackson is having an MVP year and more than likely deserves to be named MVP. And the obvious choice would be to select the Ravens. Obviously. But this is not an obvious type of show. With that being said, I believe that the Tennessee Titans, with the strong running game of Brother Henry, the great management of Tannehill, and a strong defense to go with a strong special teams, the Titans have the right formula and the mental toughness to steal the road win. This game will not be a high-flying, high-scoring game. It's going to be a very well-played game, hard-hitting game. And I believe the Tennessee Titans will squeak out of this one against the Baltimore Ravens. On the NFC side of things, the Seattle Seahawks will be taking on the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers against Russell Wilson. I believe the Green Bay Packers will beat the Seattle Seahawks to advance to the NFC Championship. And here comes probably my most controversial pick of them all. The San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. The body of work that the Vikings put in on last week against the New Orleans Saints, regardless if people believe there was a push-off or not, but if you count up the body of work that the Vikings put in that entire game, I think they may be coming into San Francisco on fumes. And Garoppolo and company will go to work to prove to the rest of the nation that if you thought we were a fad or a ship passing through the night, you're absolutely wrong. Frisco will beat Minnesota. So according to my projections, the NFC Championship game will feature the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers, and the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tennessee Titans. Sounds odd, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to touch on just a little bit of a letter that has been released this week. I'll explain that when we return. You listen to the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas. Welcome back, and thank you guys so much for joining us here with the Mike Prince Show. Of course, we come to you daily right here, Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sunday nights, we go live at 9 p.m. You can join us right here. The rest of our crew and programming features Carlos Brown live on Saturday mornings from 10 to 12 noon. We have Ms. Sandra Stamps with She Said Sports. And coming real soon, Brother B.J. Jones with the Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow the network at obnradio.com and the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, if you would allow me to really scrape the surface, because I will not have enough time to dissect this the way I need to, but just on the surface of things, we had to share this story. According to a document that I have a copy of, dated for January the 7th, 2020. And as far as I could verify, this was an authentic letter from Dr. Ruth Simmons, making the announcement that it was time for a search for the position of athletic director at Prairie View A&M University. And I'm going to summarize, but we're going to break this down in more detail. In fact, we have a request for another interview with Dr. Ruth Simmons, because in all that getting, we want to get an understanding. We know there's a letter, and we know what meant to be said, but it's nothing better than going directly to the source. And anyone who has ever listened to this show and the content that this network produces, we always try to go directly to the source. Sometimes the source is not willing to respond, but that's just part of the nature. But we always give that opportunity, and this will be no exception to the rule. But anyway, back to the letter. The letter opens up with the reference that there's been a vacancy in this position. It also opens up with there have been an interim in that position. Then it goes on into detail the expectations of the said position of athletic director. It goes on to mention some of the other characteristics and attributes that would make a quality athletic director. It may mention that Dr. Sams would be over the committee search. Even offered a suggestion if you knew of viable candidates who would like to be considered for the position to send in your recommendation. That is the gist of the letter. Not trying to read too much or not trying to read too little. But if you take the letter at face value, the letter is indicating that it's time for a change. The letter is indicating that I've allowed things to run on autopilot long enough. It is now time for me to take the wheel. Now, I'm not going to overanalyze this situation. But one thing I do know about people who listen to this show, people who follow this network, you are highly intelligent individuals. And the one thing that I take godly pride in is that I don't try to coerce you to think one way or the other. I present facts and I let you come up with your own assumptions. But this letter was a bombshell in a lot of variable ways. It was a bombshell to how things used to run. It was a bombshell to how things are being run. And it was a bombshell to how things will be run in the future. But I'm not going to make any assumptions. The handwriting is on the wall, one way or the other. We are feverishly working right now to hear a correspondence from Dr. Ruth Simmons on this matter. Oh, by the way, Prairie View and Texas Southern play this weekend in Houston, Texas. And what about the $270 million 6-year TV deal for the Mountain West Conference? An increase 3 times to what they were receiving before from CBS and Fox. But as I mentioned, we didn't have time for everything. I am going to exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.